This is State of Affairs. I'm Steve Adubato. As you can see, we're not in the typical location we would be if you've been watching us for the last few weeks. We're remote here at East Main Media Studios in beautiful Little Falls, New Jersey. We're trying to talk about the larger, broader implications. Again, we hope and pray that we get through this coronavirus situation. We're taping on the 20th of March. There'll still be issues. New Jersey, the region, and the nation will face impacted by the coronavirus and separate issues we had that are exacerbated by the coronavirus. So we're bringing on some folks who really understand the bigger picture. We're pleased to be joined by our good friend who's been with us many times, my colleague, Dr. Ben Dworkin, who's the director of the Rowan Institute for Public Policy and Citizenship. You are, in fact, let's disclose this, Ben, you are in your basement.
I am in my basement, yes.
Safe?
We are safe. We are self-isolating and doing what we can as a family to get through this.
And to Ben's point, we do not know what the policy changes will be. We don't know how much stricter they will be or not. That is not the point of what we're doing right now. Ben, let me ask you this. I've been thinking a lot about citizenship in these days. You have as well. We can talk about the federal government, the state government, local government, who should be doing what, who's not doing what did they miss? What about us as citizens? What is our role and what should we be learning from this?
Well, I think what we can all understand is that this is a moment for citizenship. This is a moment when, as isolated as we are still part of something much larger. And the coronavirus situation has heightened that reality. So this is a moment for everybody to engage their citizenship by doing whatever they can to help neighbors, to help the broader community. And that could be just by self-isolating, but it could also be by helping the homebound or less fortunate neighbor that you have.
You know, by the way, we hope by the time this airs that we're not self-isolating as much as we are as we tape on the 20th, but who knows? That being said, Ben, I was just telling you that, again, this will be dated after spring break, but there's a whole bunch of students, college students down in spring break who were interviewed in a whole range of media and social media platforms. Hey, it's my spring break. I waited forever for this. If I get coronavirus, I get coronavirus. Hey, we're also not saying that that's typical of younger people, but there's a significant number of them saying, so if I get it, I'm young and strong. That isn't the issue, is it, Ben?
No, it's not the issue. This has transformed everything in higher education. Places like Rowan University with 19,000 students is going completely online. My New Jersey politics class has to be transformed into an online course. So when they come back, when these students come back from spring break, they're going to be receiving and learning in a very different way, a way that they didn't necessarily sign up for. And so this is a huge challenge. It's a challenge for athletes. It's a challenge for people who are looking to graduate. It's a challenge for all those students that I work with who are trying to get their resumes together and want to find summer internships, not knowing if those kinds of internships will even be available this summer.
But you also understand on some level, citizenship to some means I take care of me, I take care of my own, and don't talk to me about we because I'm worried about me. I'm sorry for using the we and me thing, but it's been playing on my mind. I get that our first responsibility is to take care of our family. I'm doing the same thing. But that's not mutually exclusive with being part of the we, correct?
Absolutely not. You're absolutely correct on that point. We have obligations to protect ourselves, keep yourself healthy, keep your family healthy. Those of us who have responsibilities for children, for parents, for others, we, of course, we'll deal with those immediate concerns. The broader concerns are the responsibilities we have as a community, which is why we find these moments where people are singing out their windows to each other in an effort to feel connected. The use of technology, clearly, as a way of people using different platforms to speak and look at somebody else besides those in their house. That is a way we find connections, and that brings us together. That is part of citizenship, is the obligation to feel responsible and feel connected to people you're part of something larger. That's what it means to be a citizen.
We're speaking to our longtime colleague and friend, Ben Dworkin, down at Rowan University. He's the director of the Institute for Public Policy and Citizenship. Let's shift to government. I'm not going to get into a philosophical conversation. We're taping on the 20th of March. People say, hey, the president should have done what? This or that. He didn't do this. The governor didn't do that. Or why didn't we do this or that? Here's my question, bigger issue. Is it more clear than ever how dependent we are on government at these critical times?
Absolutely. I think it has become very clear, not just that we rely on government, but we need competent government. We need government filled with people who are professional, who are committed to public service, and not just to private interests, but to public service, people who are trained and qualified and experienced in doing these jobs. I think this entire situation has made it very clear how much we rely not just on government, but really talented people in government to do their jobs.
Ben Dworkin, could you see the government as it relates to regulation moving forward? Those in the private sector who argue, get government out of our way, they are in the way, nothing but red tape. We hear those folks, we understand to a degree. Is it the role of government to, in some ways, not just protect certain businesses and provide support for them, financial and otherwise, but to also ensure that certain industries, certain businesses do what is best for the public good, even if it is not good short-term for the bottom line?
I'm not sure what you mean in terms of the bottom line for whom.
I'll be clear. If certain businesses, if their intent is to do certain things, and the government believes, federal, state, local government believes that that's not in the public interest, can government mandate, here's what I'm saying, should government be mandating banks, other entities, not to do certain things as relates to mortgages, or is it we're asking them to do it?
Lawyers will give you their interpretation of whether the government has the authority to force companies to behave in certain ways that might be detrimental to that individual company's bottom line. So I can't speak really to the legal foundations. We know historically we have always done this. In times of war, in times of crisis, absolutely the government has come in. And if you really disagreed with them, you went to the courts, and most of the time the government wins in those situations. There is a tremendous amount of power given to the executive branch, both in the state and in the federal government level, to impose rules, restrictions, curfews in times of civil disobedience and things like that we allow these things to happen in these moments, even if it's not what we'd like to see. What we are dealing with now is something so game-changing and ahistorical, because we've never had something like this. We've gone to war. We've had World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Korea, even Gulf Wars, but the economy didn't shut down.
Right.
We are in a situation where we're telling people don't go to work. And so when you talk about what is the mood of the electorate and what the electorate is therefore expecting from its leadership, there is tremendous anxiety out there on a whole bunch of different levels. And people are looking for definitive, clear, database decision-making that will get us through this.
Dr. Ben Dworkin from Rowan University, he is, in fact, the director of the Rowan Institute for Public Policy and Citizenship. Dr. Dworkin, take care of yourself and your family, and be safe, and we'll see you person to person, face to face next time.
I look forward to that, Stephen. Thank you so much.
You got it. This is State of Affairs. I'm Steve Adubato. We'll be right back.
State of Affairs with Steve Adubato is a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by Hackensack Meridian Health, Wells Fargo, the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, Summit City MD, the Northward Center, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, New Jersey Sharing Network, the Turl Fund, supporting Right from the Start NJ, the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, And by these public-spirited organizations, individuals, and associations committed to informing New Jersey citizens about the important issues facing the Garden State. And by Employers Association of New Jersey. Promotional support provided by ROINJ. And by NorthJersey.com and Local IQ.